Do you have transition music?
No, you can sing.
No. Did you buy those bottles because they look like potions?
I totally did, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me show. So this is the bottle that I put my stamina potions in. I bought the cork separately, and this is actually meant to look like
a light bulb?
Like a light bulb, that's right. Yeah, like a light bulb, just kind of upside down. But then I found that, oh my gosh, they looked almost perfectly like a traditional potion bottle, especially when you put the cork in. I think that kind of seals the deal. But I got both the corks and the bottles at Hobby Lobby. So, because I had plastic ones.
Fancy schmancy.
But then I washed them in the dishwasher, and they got warped and destroyed.
Because you used the heat setting. You could have washed them without the heat setting.
Yes, I suppose.
Wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, but that involves thinking.
I did that. I had a really cool Harry Potter mug.
Oh, no.
That, like, when you had hot liquid in there, it would have the Marauders map show up.
Oh.
And then we stuck it in the dishwasher.
Oh.
And now the Marauders map is always there, crossed over with something else. It looks terrible now.
Oh, man.
But yeah, it was pretty cool for, the day I used it.
Yeah. I can unplug that for now, I think. Okay. So, Titan Quest, way over here. Spider Dan, I must have missed this. Must have been in Spyro. But he says, what a creepy scarecrow. Were there scarecrows in...
At the end, there is the scarecrow with the dogs.
Okay.
I couldn't get past him, which
okay.
I don't remember him being difficult in the past, so it's clearly a lack of focus.
Alright. This is a Diablo clone, which isn't going to mean much to you, Karyne.
Did you change it on there?
What?
Did you put what you're playing on there?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I think the volume level for people watching probably going to be good, but I think I'm going to turn... Actually, you know what? Just to play it safe, I'll keep this volume up, but then I'll go in here, and I will lower the master volume to a more subdued level.
Oh.
To go with you better. Okay. Yeah, that's better.
I noticed 0 difference, but I'm glad it's better for you.
Well, yeah. See the lines up there? So you got mic, auxiliary is way up there.
I thought it was supposed to sound different in my ears.
Oh. Well, yeah, a little bit, but that's the main thing I'm concerned about. So, hopefully, people were able to hear just our wonderful conversation about all the stuff we're promoting.
If not, life goes on.
I'll be talking about it other times. I know. Oops, let's see here. Oh, wait. No, wrong button. Branson? Okay, turn that on. Turn that on. There we go. Okay. So, and you guys have anything interesting planned this summer?
Silas made All-Stars for baseball.
Oh, that's right. He was telling me about that when I was driving them to their flow rider lessons.
Oh, yeah. So, he's made it before, but we never did it because usually we have plans for the summer and it conflicts with what we've already got planned. But this summer we don't really have anything going on. So we were like, we should probably say yes once. And today I took him to the batting cage. Well, I took him to a friend's house and they took him to the batting cages. And the mom was like, oh, you made All-Stars? Then she was like, that is such a big time commitment. And then she looks at me like, you're insane. I was like, oh, crap.
Oh, boy.
So, we found out Monday, Wednesday, Friday practices for the next few weeks.
Okay.
And then games. I don't really know what the schedule is going to be like. So yeah, we'll see. That will probably take a lot of our time this summer. But it will be nice for him because we don't have, other than summer camp, we don't have stuff planned, so. But I'm excited that Holly's coming to summer camp with me.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun.
Karyne is in the, she's a small group leader for the high school ministry. Mm-hmm. She and her husband, John. Oops, don't die. Boy, this guy's a stinker. And they needed someone to kind of be a support leader with her group. Is it because you guys are shy a leader right now?
No, well, kind of. My co-leader, she is doing a long-term trip to Slovenia as a missionary for the summer. So she left last week, and she doesn't get back until August 4th. So she couldn't come to camp this year.
Okay. And since Holly, is between jobs at the moment, has time for an opportunity like that.
She was initially asked to do sound by the worship leader for the camp.
Yeah.
And then Brooklyn, our youth pastor, was like, since you're already going to be there anyway, why don't you do this too?
This is a different topic, but it was interesting to like take your kids to Flow Rider and like be Uncle Pater in charge.
Yeah. I was actually kind of surprised you said yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I can't think of any time where you've had to take the girls somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
And be in charge of the girls.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder how he feels about that. Which is why I emphasized that Charlie will tell you she has to go to the bathroom, and she doesn't. Mm-hmm. She's just nervous.
No, that was good to know. She didn't say that. She didn't say anything about wanting to go to the bathroom.
She would to you.
Yeah.
But she's got some of the Franson social anxiety to where we go to this swim lessons, and she's nervous about it. So she's like finding every reason to not get in the water and do the activity, So she'll say, I have to go potty. And then the second she's out, I don't have to go. So I've learned that trick, and I don't fall for it anymore. But
yep, it was interesting to just be buckling little Charlie in.
It's been a long time since you've had to buckle a kid in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she should be able to buckle herself.
Oh, she could.
She's a youngest child who likes to let everybody do everything for her.
Well, let's see. What was I doing before? I turned that one off.
Yeah, I do feel like I had more opportunities to hang out with your boys when they were younger. And now that they're older, our interests don't cross over as much. And our roles are flip-flopping a bit, because now you're doing the Hero Quest nights with the boys. And my was like, what could I do? Do you want to learn to crochet?
Yeah.
No, why not?
Yeah, some of you guys that listen to the podcast will... And if you've been following the Geek Week segment each week, then you might remember times where I've mentioned playing Hero Quest with my nephews, and that's Karyne's boys. Yeah. And we've been off of it just because the Franson household has been off balance with Holly being laid off and just trying to figure out how to think and feel about life. But we've got another one coming up on the books. I think we figured out.
Yeah.
Had to be like end of July or end of June or something. What was it? Early July? I can't remember what it was now.
Mid-July?
Yeah, it was like,
Yeah.
later than I'd hoped, but yeah, it'll be good. Silas is your oldest, and he is
13.
Heading into 8th grade? Man.
Yeah.
When's the last time that you stayed up all night? Like you didn't go to sleep until the sun was coming up, at least.
It's a hard question. There was a night a year ago that I couldn't sleep. And so I didn't intentionally stay up. But I might have gotten a half an hour in there somewhere. And that was it.
Okay.
But I mean, as far as like intentionally
Yeah, like on
staying
purpose.
Up, we had a sleepover for the girls in the youth group. And I was like all prepared to stay up late. I'm like,
You were what?
I was all prepared to stay up all night if I had to.
I think you told me about this. And they were just like...
And at 10 o'clock, they're all like, I'm going to take my melatonin. And the other, I'm going to get my pajamas. And I'm like, what's happening right now?
These were high school girls?
Yes. And I was like, I'm not going to question it. I'm just going to go with it.
Yeah.
And I'm like waiting to see what they do. And
this was on a weekend night? Like a Friday night or something?
And they all get in their sleeping bags and they're like talking and I can tell they're fading. And I was like, I guess I'll go turn off the light. And so I did.
That's funny.
And it was like 11 o'clock. And then I was so mad that I didn't bring my own melatonin.
Oh,
because then I'm lying awake and they're all asleep around me. Like, I thought I was going to be up until at least 3. So yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know. It might have even been night shift the last time I worked night shift.
Labor and delivery.
Yeah. That would have been 4 years ago.
We're pretty sure that Asher stays up pretty late whenever he can, yeah. And he sleeps in till at least noon if we don't wake him up, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like you, though, when we were growing up. So.
It does, and it was because I was staying up late. And I think he's probably staying up for the same reasons, because he just likes being alone, and he realizes...
That's the best time.
That's the best time. That no one is going to be telling him what to do or how to spend his time or any of that.
Silas must be watching, because he's sending me his commentary as we talk.
Who is?
Silas.
Oh.
He said he loves baseball. He says, I sure am old. Because of you talking about him.
Oh my gosh, I'm about to die.
Yeah, our boys, I mean, we don't really let them stay up late. And I don't know.
Yeah, we have mixed feelings about giving Asher the freedom to, we're just trying to help him experience just the consequences of those choices and learn from that. And he's doing well so far with his summer school class, which we're happy about.
I forgot he was doing
that. But this year was a big year for him in just learning how to budget his time. And Holly has really had to just kind of like walk through things with him to help him do that and consistently help him through with that, because the workload, man, it really just got intense and serious and real.
And I feel like when we were growing up, that was sophomore year. And now because they've moved the 9th graders into the high school at our school system, I feel like now 9th grade is where they have that reality check of, how much time do I need to spend doing schoolwork. And like even Silas this year, I had a conversation and I was like, you reached a point now where like you can't assume the weekends are your own. Like there's times where you're going to have to do homework on the weekends. And
that's hard.
I think that's a really sad sad moment for anybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm trying to think, like Silas probably would stay up later. I mean, we have like bedtimes, but I find him reading a lot past that, and I don't really do anything about it.
Yeah.
But we tend to give them melatonin at a certain point, because I feel like I have had such bad sleep habits all my life, and I don't want to pass that on to my kids. And so I'd rather, even if it's forced with melatonin, give them better sleep habits than I had. But I don't know. I also think I'm just wired to be more of a night owl. And
Me too.
Is that a bad thing? Not necessarily. It's just the way I'm wired.
Yeah.
So I also don't want to like try to force them into being morning people if they're not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Silas gets up so early. Like, he didn't sleep in this morning for once, but I feel like he would get up early no matter what time he went to bed, and he would just be cranky. So, I don't know. We'll see as the summer progresses if they start sleeping in more and more. I don't know. The girls don't sleep in more, so I'm like, I can't have the teenagers up until midnight or whatever on one end, and the girls getting up at 6 a.m. on the other. Like, I just can't do that.
Let's see here. Spider Dan says, so Hobby Lobby has light bulb shaped bottles. Yeah, I guess they do. Yeah, or at least they did a year or so ago whenever I got those. Nathan Norman says, good night. I might pop in later if the baby wakes me up. That's right. Nathan Norman is a pastor, and he's on East Coast time, like New York State time.
This is really late for him.
Yeah, very late. So I'm sure you're gone now, Nathan. But thanks for watching so much.
Oh, I hope he's not up later. If he's a pastor, he's got stuff to do tomorrow.
Let's see here. Spider Dan says, I did a couple 24-hour parties in high school. I'm not sure why. LOL. Yeah. And Gabriel says, I have Titan Quest and all the expansions. Got them really cheap on Xbox. Haven't played them yet. Yeah, I got. I bought the main game and I got the expansion. As I got a review code for the expansion, and I felt bad. It was a difficult situation to do a review, and it was one of the first review codes I got too. And so, for a while, I think the next time I don't know. I think I can't remember if there was another review code from the publisher that I did not get after that, or if it had been a while. But I remember wondering after I made my Ragnarok content, the expansion Ragnarok, I was like, oh my gosh, is this publisher going to blacklist me? You know, because I wasn't able to progress in the game. It was I just kept dying over and over and over again, and I realized that I was going to have to spend like 5 to 10 hours just grinding just to get past the first area. But I felt, on a moral level, I felt okay with making a review about it, because in the pre-release content, and I actually confirmed this before requesting a review code, I confirmed this with the the PR person, that the game you could play it without having played the base campaign, that you could start with the expansion and they would create a brand new leveled up character for you to start with. And so it was based on that I requested a review code. And then I found that even with the leveled up character, I could not progress. And so basically, the focus of my review was just on that, and how this is not in my estimation, a jumping on point for players who have not played the base game. And so I was relieved and surprised when the next time I got a review code from the publisher. And I think they might be the publisher that I've most frequently been granted review codes for. I think it's THQ Nordic. Which is nice for me. I tend to like the types of games that they make. I think I mentioned earlier in the stream that kind of AA space where you're not dealing with huge AAA budgets, everything's super polished, but they're not independent games either. They're in that middle space where they've got some budget, and they've got maybe dozens, a dozen or more people working on the game, dozens even working on a game.
Oh man, I made a mess.
And in that space, they can kind of focus on some things and try some things that don't necessarily have to be this mass market appeal, which the bigger budget games need to have in order to make that crazy budget money back. So I'm definitely not a shill for THQ, because they've definitely made some stuff and I'm like, this is not working for me. But I've also found some really cool stuff in in what some of what they've done and what others in the AA space do. So, and this game, you know, it's funny. This one, I'm not really into the sword and sandals aesthetic. This is largely like a Greek type of, the base game is a Greek aesthetic, and I never like action movies. You never saw 300?
You were talking to me.
I did start.
I'm kind of zoning out a little bit.
That's right. I did start talking to you a little bit. I was by looking at you, I was gonna invite you back into the conversation.
Because you knew I was zoning out.
Well, you got your knitting supplies out.
Crochet.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
Sorry.
Just yarn. I'm just.
Yeah. Okay.
Putting it in a ball.
But I thought you could at least appreciate this. You know, like, if you're going to have an action movie or something, you know, whether it's Wonder Woman or 300 or whatever, but if people are wearing sandals and going into battle, that never works for me if the sandals are open-toed, because
sandals are not open-toed.
I want you to look at these sandals.
Yeah, I know.
His toes are exposed.
All sandals have exposed toes.
Okay, so that's...
What sandals don't have exposed
I don't know.
toes?
I guess there's... Okay, so fine. I don't know. I don't know the definition of sandal, I guess. I thought maybe if it had a lot of rubber or leather straps and a few of them covered the toes, maybe there could be such a thing as a closed-toe sandal. I guess not. I've just been informed, everybody.
Well, I don't know. I'm not pretending I'm a fashion expert.
Okay.
I just am trying to picture a sandal without.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some, I guess, that...
Yeah, I think they become boots at some point.
I don't know.
But
Yeah.
when the toes are exposed, I'm like, how can you go into a bloody battlefield with swords and your toes are exposed?
You could say that about the thighs or the calves being exposed too, though. Like,
I guess, but somehow the toes feel more delicate and tender, and like, I don't know, if someone accidentally steps on your foot in the middle of combat, I don't know. That's
why I just wouldn't do combat.
I wouldn't either. I mean, but I have trouble buying into tough manly combat or whatever if there's open toes. So
I feel like centurions are always depicted as wearing toes, and did they really?
I don't know. But I feel like usually like in Bible stuff, like Christian stuff, you know, they're just standing guard. They just stand and watch. They're not in
what
the
about
thick
in 300? I never saw that.
Oh,
300. What do they wear in 300?
Oh, it's open-toe sandals, I think. And they are going to town. And that's like the only time I'm like, okay, that and maybe Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman movie, are the two things like, okay, these can make open toes work for me. But it's because the people are superhuman. But anyway, all that to say, I am not into the aesthetic that the core game is based on, but there's something about the mechanics that I like. That it's not a bunch of swarming enemies. You can check out now. It's not a bunch of swarming enemies. Each enemy is more meaningful of a threat, and there's just something about the pace of the looting and the combat and the upgrade trees that just works for me. So
you can't. Spider Dan says he has hiking sandals with almost closed-toed.
Oh, okay. Hiking sandals.
That's understandable. It's hot.
I guess. If it's hot, don't go hiking.
When is it a good time for you to go hiking?
Yeah, that's correct.
Never.
That is correct. Man, whenever I hear about people getting injured and it's because of some sport they were doing, I have to bite my tongue to not say, yeah, you shouldn't be doing that.
Well, that's probably what they're saying when 20 years from now we're going to have issues because we're not active. You know what I mean? They're like, well, you should have been a little more active when you were younger.
Well, I'm hopeful that VR and some other things will kind of get to a point, like, it wouldn't take much for them to make a video game, like, with just the basic dance pad technology, if they would just modify that to work with certain, even just like a turn-based RPG.
playing a turn-based RPG with a dance pad that you have to kind of walk around on and move around on. I think I could get into that and make that, some kind of part of my workout. At least when I get older and I'm not jogging anymore and I just need to kind of limp around back and forth.
I have my tread desk. Have you seen my tread desk? So I have a treadmill that goes under my desk.
Oh.
And then my desk raises up.
I knew your desk raised up.
So I can walk while I type and while I do podcast stuff.
Oh, cool.
Whatever I'm doing, I can be walking. And so I can get 20,000 steps a day in if I'm at the desk,
cool.
But
I've heard that some people will have like exercise bikes, like people that are gamers that'll have exercise bikes set up and they'll do all their gaming on the exercise bike. And that thought has crossed my mind. Yeah. Let's see here. Kuba says, "Hey Peter, how goes it? Did I spell your name right? I'm about to start my homework. How are you feeling?" Good. I got my wife here with me.
What?
Just kidding. I thought since he just came in, he wouldn't know who you were.
That was like such a dad joke.
Okay, sorry.
Like, I'm not talking like the normal dad jokes, like our dad.
Like our dad
joke.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, he did that when I went hiking with him and the boys.
He said that you were his wife?
Yes. There was these young girls who they were taking a picture. And Dad slowed down and like stared at them for a long time, like, "Dad, you're getting creepy. Let's go." And he was like, "Do you want me to take that for you?" And I was like, "You're like the last person who should be taking pictures for other people. You can hardly work your own phone, And so he gets over there and he's trying to take pictures. I said something, I can't remember. And he was like, "Oh yeah, that's my wife who's da 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 da." I was like, "No, daughter." And he kind of laughed. He's like, "I thought they might believe me." Like, "Dad, no."
But yes, I'm sitting here with my sister and doing just fine. I think having the dinner break did well. Sadly, I think it's helped to ease off of my various sugary snacks because I kept kind of like rising and falling and rising and falling and. I think I'll get back into them. I definitely want to get back into them before midnight because after midnight I think I maybe shouldn't because of what it might do to my stomach. I don't know. But no, doing well. Enough. I don't know what more there is to say.
You're more than halfway done.
I am. Yeah.
Which I think is funny because like when my boys hear that you're doing this and they're like, "That would be amazing."
Oh yeah. Titus
like,
thinks the same thing. He tried to do this last year at the same time as me.
The whole 24 hours?
Yes.
Okay.
And he got, I think he started the same time I did. And he got pretty far. I think he maybe got to somewhere between 11 and 1, I want to say.
Okay.
And then he was like, "I'm
just
done."
Too tired.
Yeah.
It's not fun anymore.
Yeah. And Titus, he also wasn't online, and he wasn't streaming. He was just playing upstairs and doing vlogs to.
Oh, so he wasn't even with you. Oh,
no,
I thought you were doing it like side by side. Okay.
No, and it's a whole different level of energy expenditure when you are talking and trying to kind of be somewhat interesting and interact with people, and you're thinking about technical things at the same.
Are there people on with you in the middle of the night?
There is usually like they're not necessarily like chatting the whole time, but like just like it is now. Like every once in a while, someone will kind of say something and chat. And yeah, I think the spaces between people saying something gets wider, but I've still been surprised the last few years that there usually is someone that just kind of intermittently is, and they're usually overseas.
I was going to say, it probably helps when there's different time zones.
Yeah. But I always appreciate it. And I think some people that are able to like tuning in for like the 3 to 6 a.m. hours because that's when I'm losing it, Yeah. That's when I'm seeing things. And
so what are you raising money for with this?
This is not a fundraiser.
So what is this one for?
This is, I called it the Summer Insanity live stream. And there was, last year I did it for like 3 months. This year I did it for 6 weeks. But there's basically like a call to action over that course of time. and that can be measured in numbers somehow. And the call to action is related to helping Christian Geek Central content find its audience. So last year it was like subscribing, just to get the subscriber numbers up, because that can help algorithmically if more people are subscribed. And then this year it was sharing the CGC channel intro on social media.
Okay.
And there's a number in the back that keeps track for me of how many times it gets shared. And so based on, I would have weekly updates, and every 5 shares would unlock something new.
Nice.
And determine things like how long the marathon would be. Would it be 6 hours or 12 hours or 24? Would I have to do an hour of frustrating games, or put on frozen socks on a t-shirt, which I am going to have to do before the night is done? I've actually got an alarm that's going to go off at 5 a.m. so that if I haven't put them on at that point to help stay awake, I'll put them on at 5. So people that are
up in the middle of the night,
people that are like middle America or East Coast, getting up
true.
and getting ready for church. There's one guy that pretty faithfully tunes in the last 1 or 2 hours, and he's like, "This is my favorite part," as he's having his morning coffee and getting ready for church.
Is that Francisco?
No, John Wilkerson.
Oh,
Is his name? Yeah, Francisco was on earlier.
oh, bummer. It's the
Francisco-
only one whose name I remember.
Yeah, Francisco and Karyne have a history. I think I first interacted with him the year that he came on, and it was while that
When
you
I
were
was here.
when you were and that was in the old house.
Yeah.
Where am I going? Oh, north. I need to go north still, I think. I don't even know what quest I'm pursuing right now. If anybody senses that I'm wandering aimlessly, that's because I am. I'm just going to where there are enemies and fighting them. When Karyne's done, I'll maybe get a little bit more focused. I mean, when she's done, I mean when she's gone or whatever, Which you're welcome to stay as long as you want.
Can't decide if that makes me feel pressure to leave or stay.
There's no pressure for either. There's only pressure to do what you want to do, Karyne.
Well, the only pressure I feel is, how are the kids doing? Because John's out of town this weekend. So.
Oh, who are they with? Your parents?
No.
I mean,
Your
his parents.
No, they're home alone.
Really?
Yeah.
That's new.
We do that every Tuesday night.
Do you?
So we put the girl. One of us goes to youth group like at 7, and the other one stays home and puts the girls to bed, and then leaves at like 7:30.
We've been trying to figure that out. Like when is it? In short spurts, we've left the boys alone. But I think for our boys, they're gonna fight.
Yeah.
And we know that there'll be power struggles. I won't say more than that, but there will be power struggles. And it's just not going to go well. But I suppose...
Well, and there's been a couple times where one of us didn't make it to church because there was stuff going down,
Yeah.
But for the most part, it works out well. Especially during the school year, they have, stuff they've got to get done before bed and their routines. So they do pretty well with it. So, and, because it's summer and we're still not quite on a summer schedule... They're just playing games right now.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
They're content.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. And Silas, is certainly old enough now that he could manage some of those things. He's got a phone, can call if there's problems.
He doesn't actually have a phone, but
so how do you do that?
He's got an old iPhone, so as long as he's connected to the internet, he can text me.
Oh yeah.
And he can FaceTime.
Oh, but he can't make phone calls.
Well, he can FaceTime me as long as I'm also connected to Wi-Fi.
Okay.
So it's not foolproof, but it's good enough.
All right. Well,
I expect a text to come through now saying, yes, you should get me a phone. So he's listening to all of this and commenting.
All right, then I won't express any worry about his inability to dial 911.
I think you can make emergency calls from phones that are not connected. I think. I don't know.
Well, Asher or Titus can, I think, because he uses Holly's old phone,
Yeah.
But it has to be connected to Wi-Fi, and he can. I think he can make calls, but or at least he could do 911.
Yeah. I'm getting tangled here with your wires too. Oh, there we go.
Oh, let's see here.
I lose my spot.
Oh man, there's several folks. Kubu says, I'm from Australia, so he must have been chiming in, about like the overseas folks. I usually sit around with Peter until the end. That's true. It's more. It has been more than John Wilkerson. I'm foggy at the end, so I do forget the particulars of who is there. But John Wilkerson, I just remember because he has said more than once, "This is my favorite part." Let's see here. Kuba says, "Have you played the Alone in the Dark prologue? It's a free demo. I loved it. I'm bummed out how Alan Wake 2 is digital only." Were you the one that was telling me that like that's a horror game you can play that is not difficult? Like you don't, because most horror games you can die really easily. There's survival horror, and I just don't like that difficulty mixed with the intense scares. In fact, I don't even like jump scares. What I would want in a horror game, to answer your question, no, I haven't played the Alone in the Dark prologue. What I would want in a horror game is something that is creepy but not hard and with no jump scares, and so it's pretty stinking specific. So usually I'm not able to play horror games. Sometimes I can play horror-themed games and really enjoy them, like Darkest Dungeon is a turn-based RPG with a horror setting, but it's not really trying to scare you. It's just presenting an aesthetic that's very creepy and dark and stuff like that.
Sorry.
No, that's right. Let's see here. Kuba then says, I only save like $10 and I like to buy pre-owned games for cheap. You can't buy pre-owned digital games. Oh, that's why you are bummed about Alan Wake 2 being digital only. Yeah, I can see that. That's the reason that I got paid extra with both of the PS5 and the Xbox One to get the version that would read discs, so that I would still have the option of buying used. And on both consoles, I've taken advantage of that enough that I've already made that money back. So I really do like having that option.
Silas says I can stay here as long as I want. He's given me permission.
Oh.
Isn't that nice?
Silas said that?
Yeah.
Very kind of you, Silas. Do you think he's watching?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah? Do you know if he was watching?
He said, yes, you should get me a phone.
Do you know? Do you know if he was watching the meal breaks?
No, because I turned it on before I left.
All right. I made some jacked up videos for the meal breaks while I was gone.
Oh boy.
I don't know if I lost any subscribers over them, but
and was it or no?
It wouldn't utterly shock me. Yeah, it's not technically anything that couldn't appear in a PG movie. But I think technically is an important distinction.
Was it like the horror video that gets sent to people before they disappear? Kind of thing?
Weird and disturbing and creepy, like that kind of thing. But in a comedic way. And, simulated pooping. So there's that.
They can't rewind a live
You can. You can scroll. You can scroll back.
It's like I'm going to rewind now and watch it. I was going to ask, do you ever have is there any copyright issue with you playing these games and posting videos of the games?
No, I believe though that technically you are operating under the good graces of companies, and.
Because they know it's beneficial to them.
They know it's beneficial to them. Yeah. The law has yet to catch up with this phenomenon.
Okay.
And so, but if they wanted to make a stink about it and try to make a court case, they would have footing to do so. It's not a guaranteed win, but they have footing to do so.
Yeah.
But they usually don't. Now, sometimes companies will do copyright strikes, but it's not really because they are protecting copyright. They'll just be like someone's making a video that is totally bashing their game or something like that, you know. And most companies won't even do that. And so it's really considered bad form and bad taste for a company to do that. But it is. It's
usually they
happen.
say that even like bad reviews
are good. Yeah, are good
for
publicity.
sales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, the only time that you typically on YouTube run into problems with like copyright stuff is not related to manual objections like actual human beings, but the bots that scan for copyrighted content. Usually audio content is primarily what they're scanning for.
Yeah.
And so like if you've got a game, like I've got a game that's an open city game, takes place in modern day, and it has radio stations you can listen to in your car, and it's real world music.
Yeah.
And so those artists are, they're registered their stuff to be auto protected. So I have to turn all that off, and a lot of, well, not a lot, but a number of games now are they have audio options in them to just turn off licensed music because streaming is such a thing now. Oh my gosh!
Silas, I already regret rewinding.
Silas's?
Yes.
Next Hero Quest night might be a little awkward. Oh, you're sweet little girls. Hopefully they'll never see it. I don't mind if it warps your boys
They're
a little
off
bit.
in dreamland, so they're definitely not watching it now.
Yeah.
They'll probably be up at 5 a.m. because I put them down a little early, but I'll deal with that tomorrow.
Yeah, you said John's out of town?
Yeah.
Where's he at? Working?
No, so he had the high school seniors last year for his small group, and they always do like a senior trip.
Oh, okay.
And so they're doing like a lake day trip thing.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah.
You told me about that.
Which is funny because he's the last person who likes lake day
Oh, really?
things, yeah.
No, he's not.
Well,
You're
true.
looking at the last
Yes,
person.
that's true. I think it's surprising to me because I think he would like it, and so to know that he doesn't, it feels out of character, but he just really doesn't like boats and lakes. I don't know. That was one of the first times that I was like, oh, he can have a temper and get riled up, was when we were on a lake day when we were in high school group, and we'd rented jet skis, and he could not figure out how to get the thing to work.
Oh, no.
He got really mad. And I was like, oh, so he's not happy all the time.
Oh, I'm tempted to replace my armor with this one, but it would slow my casting speed by 30%, so I don't want that. 38. No, I'll lose my intelligence boost. These I can't use. That I definitely don't want. Nor that. Nope. Nope. 46,000. Oh, no, I don't want that. Nope.
You guys aren't going anywhere this summer, are you? You just had your big
Well, we're
Europe
going.
trip.
We're going to Pennsylvania.
Oh, you are? When is that?
That's going to be. Geez, when is that? I think it's the end of July, so it's
Okay.
pretty close to the end of the summer. Yeah, in fact, very soon after the boys get back, school starts up again.
Okay.
For them. No, Spider Dan. I never did play Alan Wake. I think I've heard that the first one is kind of more atmospheric and not necessarily a scary game, but the second one I've heard is definitely going for out-and-out survival horror, which is a bummer because Remedy, I think, is the name of the studio that makes that game. They made Control, which I was able to play because it was on PlayStation Plus, in I think part of the PlayStation Plus collection, and they had some great difficulty tweaking settings. You could tweak so many different aspects of the difficulty in that game. I loved it. And it was a very immersive environment and very story-driven type thing. And that's what I think games, dang it, should do. If their creators care about their story and they want people to see their whole story, then they should put difficulty options in for people who care about story and want to see the story through even if they suck or don't have patience or get freaked out or whatever it is, you know. So I think I might be interested in the world of Alan Wake, maybe the story of Alan Wake, but the gameplay, I don't want to invest in that because I think the games would push back too much for me to see it through.
Listening to you talk about video games is like listening to the boys in my family talk about sports.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, how do you remember all of these details?
Like who the publisher is and stuff?
Well, just, I mean, I don't know. Or like which system it came out on and all those kinds of details. And
yeah, you're just in that world, I guess. And yeah, because I don't know how people that are into sports keep track of like player stats and stuff. I'm like, boring. Yeah. Man, I've got so much money. I'm just going to go nuts with these potions. Oh, only 25 per, huh? Okay, that's fine. Let's do this then.
You've got questions on there.
Okay, sorry. Let's see here.
Are you saving up?
Spider Dan says, the first Alan Wake is very atmospheric, but the gameplay is action-oriented and not survival horror. You might like it. It's very story-driven. Yeah, I would have to...
Oh, he's asking someone else.
I'd have to look into it because I don't want to feel like I would be missing out if I didn't play the second one, which is, by the reports I've heard, going to be different and have much more pushback. And I would also, even just for the first one, I would want to do a lot of research on difficulty settings and feel, before I put any money down, feel very confident that difficulty would not be a factor, because the if there's jump scares and stuff like that, that still might be more than I want and more than I can put up with. I don't know. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe I shouldn't have let Silas put on the live stream. Now he's sending me baseball stats.
Oh, great.
That I don't need.
Nice. I have potions that give me power. I told viewers before you came that while you are here, there will be a reprieve from insanity. I guess I can't...
Because you want me to come back again.
Yes. Yeah. I cannot expect my sister to be a party to any weirdness other than the normal weirdness of her brother. Oh boy, what is this? This looks like I might die.
I don't know. When I tuned in before, I don't know if that's the right word, I didn't think anything weird was going on.
Well, you got to be attentive. There's some stuff that if you're not looking, you miss it.
All right.
Oh, dang. Yeah! What is this? Are these chests or... What am I looking at here? These are,
offering tables, altars.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I like that potion drinking sound. Did you hear that? Listen.
Oh, that, yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds nice.
That's good stuff.
Oh.
Are you tuned into audio stuff? I feel like I'm just very auditorily tuned, and like
Yeah,
there are
you
certain sound effects that I just like here, and they just, as Asher puts it, or Titus actually I think says, it's very satisfying. Like certain sounds, he'll say it's so satisfying.
There was a parent that I was talking to who's, now that our kids are closer, or yours are, high school age, when I'm talking to the parents of kids I'm working with, like their parents that are our age, or, have kids our age, and so it's just different when I used to talk to them and I only had little kids. Because now this one parent told me about Titus. He said he was hanging out with him, and Titus said, I'm the only extrovert in a family of introverts.
Poor kid. This is true.
And he just thought it was so funny to hear this, almost 7th grader.
John thought it was?
No, it was a parent of another kid.
Oh.
Yeah. And
to hear Titus say that of himself, yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. Spider Dan says there was a second game called Alan Wake's American Nightmare that no one seems to remember, and I think they're ignoring it in the second game. Oh, interesting. Kubaboo says, can you play the Alone in the Dark prologue on stream? It's a free demo. I don't know. If it's gonna be scary at all, I really like to make people donate for that in the charity live stream I do once a year to make that kind of stuff happen. Or actually, even for this live stream, playing games that would actually be scary to me, that's part of an unlock for like I really dislike it.
Which is funny to me because I had weird nightmares for a long time after that dumb movie you made me watch.
What movie?
The Color
Out of Space.
Yes.
Yes.
Like, why would you want to watch that but you won't play a game?
Well, it's so funny because that night, and I don't know, maybe it was just that night, but I mean, I was under the impression that you were not scared or disturbed.
Oh, you were offended by my lack of interest.
I was. She was on her phone and stuff, and I didn't realize,
I was checking out.
that she was trying to check out. Like she was feeling the need to check out. Because that movie puts you off balance.
Yes.
I mean, it really, yeah. It's one of the, if not the most disturbing movies I've ever seen. Kuba says, it's not scary, it's eerie and atmospheric. No jump scares. It's a really cool experience. The demo is like half an hour. I'll give it some thought. No promises. Is it available on both consoles? That shouldn't make you think it's more likely I'm going to say yes. I just wanted some background data as I'm contemplating.
This is the insanity.
There's some forms of insanity that need to be unlocked by the participation in the call to action. So there's always the possibility that it could be unlocked in the charity marathon through
Is it
donations.
too late? Like if I go and share?
It's too late. Yeah, it's too late. Thursday night was the cutoff.
Shorter and shorter.
Sorry, it's
fallen. Yeah,
Okay.
that's better.
Yeah, the cutoff was Thursday night. Let's see here. Oh, Spider Dan says, I will not watch that movie, LOL. I'm pretty sure you guys talked about it last year, LOL. We probably
We'll
did.
be talking about it every year for the
yeah.
rest of our lives.
It leaves a mark.
It does.
But you never saw Event Horizon, did you?
No. I'm pretty sure I won't
I don't think
take
you
you up on any movies that are horror anymore. I still can't believe you had Dad watch that movie.
Did he watch Color Out of Space? Oh, Event Horizon or Color Out of Space?
I thought you said Color Out of Space.
Did he watch Color Out of Space with me? I don't know if I showed it to
I
Dad.
thought you did. Maybe not.
I got to be selective. Like, that's one of the movies I've got a handful of movies in my collection that I'm like, I don't know who I would invite to watch this with. And I feel like Color Out of Space is one of them, but hey, I love you. We get
I'm
along so well.
Lucky.
Some people, I just want them to have this experience that I've had so that we can
And so
share.
does your friend. He wants you to have the
Yeah,
experience
that's
that he
right.
had.
Yeah.
Yeah, I much prefer our Cheers marathon over that.
Yeah, we have a monthly, for those who don't know, we have a monthly hangout night. Roughly, we try to do it once a month. Monthly hangout night where it's been going on for a handful of years now,
I feel like
at least.
since I got back from Rwanda.
Which is
shortly
5 years
after
ago?
We started doing that, yeah. Mhm.
So that sounds about right.
No. We've been back from Rwanda almost 8 years.
Really?
Almost 9 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we started out watching The Office and got about as far as I think I could go on that. It was diminishing returns for me. I liked a lot of the second season on. First season was hard for me. But then I liked a lot of second season on.
Well, and you didn't even hit the part where Michael leaves.
Yeah. No.
Which also has diminishing returns.
Okay.
So.
But then, yeah, we started watching Cheers.
We haven't gotten very far.
Yeah, no. We're like two or three maybe episodes in. But prior to that, I think that we ended up doing that. It was kind of organically grew out of what we did when you were visiting from Rwanda. Which was, do you remember what we did?
No.
When you would be in town for like a week or something, every 4 to 6 months or something like that, while you guys were in Rwanda.
We only came back twice.
Okay.
So
whatever it was.
I came back twice.
Yeah, okay.
The others only came back once.
Well, we watched one time we watched all the Star Wars movies with riff tracks.
Oh.
And another time we watched all the Twilight movies with riff tracks. Like the whole week that she was here, it was just like a movie a night or something like that.
Are you sure that's while I was back from Rwanda?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
That's funny.
And
I thought it was before that, but
yeah, no, it was definitely during the Rwanda years.
That's funny. Yeah.
And I think also
ones are my favorite.
Oh yeah, those riff tracks are great.
We should watch this again.
Yeah, we should. We should. It's been long enough that I would. I mean, yeah. I think the only recurring joke I remember is line.
Yeah.
Because there's so many blank-faced pauses between the two characters that it looks like they've forgotten their line. But
I really like those. They do like the voiceovers. What is it called? Like, it's not lip syncing, but they like make up new lines for them. You've seen those, right?
bad lip reads?
Yes.
Yeah, those are great too.
Yes.
And especially, I mean, I think because they're so often just gibberish. It's borderline gibberish.
Yeah.
There's barely sentences that hold together.
Yeah.
And so it makes everybody just seem kind of like a lunatic. And it would be so easy with some of those for them to get like political and make a certain person look bad or whatever. But even when they do like the president or whoever, it's always, I don't know that I've ever
stupid nonsense.
It's noted them to take a side, but they're just like just weirdness.
I had my girls do that one year for we have like a film fest thing.
That's
where
right. Yep.
Each grade has to make a video, and So I suggested a bad lip sync because none of them really wanted to like act or whatever.
Yeah.
And so we did Titanic.
Did they pre-record that or do it live?
We pre-recorded it.
Okay.
And it was great. And it was really funny. Like, there was a couple things that you're like, is this appropriate? I don't know. Because like, it was like all the people sliding down the ship.
And
we're like, wee!
That's perfect.
And I think that the pastor at the time just was so shocked that we went there. Like, he just could not stop laughing on stage. I was like, did we go too far? I don't know.
See, Kububu says, the reason I want to watch you play it is because you play as a little girl who seems casual about what's going on around her. It's strange and cool. And then Spider Dan says, LOL, I thought for a second, Kuba, that you said Pater plays like a girl, LOL.
That's what I thought he was saying too, because you scream like a girl scared about stuff.
Yeah. You play as a little girl, Pater. That sounds like an insult from somebody who, like, English isn't quite their first language. You know?
Oh, man.
Well, I think I do play as a little girl. That's part of my problem. And anyone feel free to come to the defense of little girls everywhere.
Well, I was just going to say, it almost sounds like a more politically correct way to say you played like a girl, because I think anyone can understand that a little girl is going to play not as good as a big girl, but yeah, no. I did finally, our girls played Mario Kart together for the first time. And it was like this moment of like, oh, because I was like, I can just sit them in front of the TV and they can do this together. Like, that's not been possible before.
Oh, yeah.
There's been a lot of things that have felt like they've opened up to me this summer. Like, I can go run a quick errand and leave all the kids home.
Nice.
You know, or like I went and picked some stuff up at Target the other day doing that. Or like I ran Silas places today and left the girls home with Garrison for a little bit. It's been nice.
Oh boy. Oh boy. He's big! He's big! Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, he's big. And very scary. Oh my gosh. Holy crap. Boy, I've got that ring of fire around me that does some nice damage to anybody up close, but I hate to let him get up close. Almost there, almost there. Oh, what the crap? Who's shooting giant? Is there some other enemy? I thought that was him shooting those giant rainstorms of ice or whatever they are. There's somebody else over here? Maybe he was just calling down ice from the sky or something. Yeah, 9:15. When it gets to this point, I'm thinking less in terms of like, oh, I'm 3/4 or this much or whatever through the marathon, and I'm thinking more in terms of, okay, it's 8 hours, and 8 hours, that's just part of a day. All I got to do is just kind of live part of a day.
No big deal.
No big deal. But man, the last 2 hours feel like about 3 days. Unless I've really got a game going on, and it's hit or miss to have that. I might need to go to the bathroom soon. And it might take me a little while.
Is that my cue to leave?
No. I'm just saying, if you're okay, like hanging in front of the camera without me for a little while, since I assume you don't want to join me in the bathroom.
Oh boy. boy.
That's a very dad thing to say. I'm
That-
sorry. And that laugh was a little
Yeah.
dad-like, too.
Well, you're getting more and more like him.
I know, yeah.
It's bound to happen.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Dad's got that sense of humor that I have too, that I really have to curb, and it was way out of control in college. That kind of likes messing with people a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I was terrible in college.
Do you remember when I'm trying? It was in our the Blue House, 74th place, and I was mad at you, and I started chucking tennis balls at you.
You've told me this story.
You don't remember it?
I don't know if I remember it or remember you telling me the story and what I imagine in my head. I don't know.
I just always think about how calm and collected you were.
Oh yeah, you've told me this before, and
You're like,
and
I think you should put that down and think about whether or not you should do that.
man, I gotta have those moments with our boys sometimes. That's for sure. I don't remember having that being collected like
Well,
that.
I think about it sometimes when I'm getting after my kids. And I honestly do not remember what I did after you said that. I don't remember if I threw the tennis ball anyway. Because I feel like that's what I would have done. I don't care. But because I'm always when I tell my kids, you should think about this and then we'll talk about it again kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I'm in that moment, it's so hard to
Yeah.
step back but I think about that a lot.
Well, I've remembered many times. I've told this story. We're probably having the same
I
conversations
know.
again when you come. That's all right. But when I was in junior high, I think, and I was I don't know. Mom and Dad were gone. We were the only ones at home, and I was wrestling you to the floor and pinning you down. And I think I wanted to take a picture of you while you were crying or some jacked up stuff like that.
Which I don't remember that, so that's probably good.
There wasn't film in the camera, but you were just horrified at the idea. And you said amidst tears,
You've told me this.
"You're going to be a mass murderer when you grow up." And it stuck with me. It stuck with me. And I think maybe I'd seen just enough late night mystery shows with Mom and Dad that had serial killers in them, that I thought, is this how it starts? Doing weird things like this. This is strange. I know it's strange.
Oh, man.
And I didn't want to be a mass murderer.
So you changed your ways.
I guess. Well,
I put you on the path away from being a mass murderer. It was your destiny, and I changed your future.
Good grief.
I might have to give up on this one.
Give up? What are you doing? What are you trying to make?
I'm trying to get the knot out. That's the whole reason I put it in a ball to begin with before I start making something. And this
For a second there, I thought it was a lacy thong you were working on there. It's
Yes,
whoa.
that's what I'm going for.
I don't think I want to see you putting that together. Are you guys going anywhere this summer?
After school starts, but August 6th, we're going to Florida, just
Okay.
John and me.
Okay, cool.
But no, we were going to go to the cabin the last week of June, and John is still taking the other kids, but I'm staying home with Silas so he can do All-Stars baseball stuff. So
Wow. Silas must love and appreciate you so much.
one would think.
Yeah, one would think. One would think.
One would think that he would maybe, help out a little around the house with some cleaning
Ooh.
to show his appreciation.
Maybe
Or,
that's maybe if he prayed about it. A lot of dinosaur enemies. I'm not as much into the dinosaurs. I don't like dinosaurs, and I don't like animals.
Oh, that reminds me. I need to look at the Jurassic Park movies for the boys.
Oh, just to see if they would be a good fit, like content-wise?
Yeah. I know we had them watch the first one, and I was kind of gauging if it scared them at all.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They were fine. But then the second one, I haven't worked up the desire to show it to them because it's so terrible. I should probably just skip straight to like the Jurassic World ones.
I mean, they reference... Oh, maybe skipping to Jurassic World. I was going to say, because 3 references 2.
Oh, I'm not even sure I knew there was a third one.
Yeah.
Did I ever see that one?
I think I liked it better than the second one.
I don't really remember much about the second one other than I was uncomfortable and hated it. So I don't remember why. I don't remember specifics. That's also, we got Disney Plus for the summer, and I haven't really worked up the energy to look up the Marvel movies they haven't seen yet. Because I just feel like they started going downhill.
Oh, yeah.
Just not...
Even Marvel fans are saying, like, people that have been, like, they were not burned out for the longest time are saying, like, yeah, this... And I have heard that Disney, like, the subscription to Disney Plus, it's just been plummeting.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, and there's changes going on in leadership, people getting out, other people coming in, and...
Yeah, we got rid of it, and we kind of made the decision we would have it over the summer to give them extra stuff to watch over the summer. And then we usually do like a month around Christmas time. And that's it. We won't keep it on during the school year. But even then, part of me is kind of like, I don't know, I don't know that we'll do it every year. That's what we're doing this year.
Yeah, yeah.
And we'll see. I was kind of bummed. What was that thing I wanted to take off? That I'm terrible with names.
Is this a character name you're trying to remember?
No, it was like the TV. It was like they were kind of going to compete with Disney Plus. They were putting out...
the Daily Wire folks?
Yeah. And I feel like I haven't heard much about that going anywhere.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't really like that superhero movie that we watched.
Oh, yeah.
With it. What was that called?
The Superiors or the something like that.
I don't
can't
know.
remember what it was. But yeah, it was...
a little too quirky.
Yeah.
It was almost like a Napoleon Dynamite superhero movie, and it wasn't good.
Come on now.
I don't know what that means.
Let's see.
Event Horizon.
Spider Dan says, Nathan Hale. Hey, Nathan. I think that might be the first time you've jumped in chat for today. Says, I think Event Horizon is the sci-fi horror film that many people say could fit into the Warhammer 40k universe. Yeah, I wouldn't know. I've heard that Warhammer 40k is super dark, but I don't know if it's dark in the same way or what, so I don't have a point of reference. But by the way, just as a reminder, if you want a better chance of getting my attention via my peripheral vision, you can put at Christian Geek Central, make sure the spelling is correct, no spaces, and that will be highlighted in orange, and so it'll catch my peripheral vision a little easier while I'm playing. See, Spider Dan says, Lost World and Jurassic Park 3 are guilty pleasures. Don't bother with Jurassic World. Have you seen the Jurassic World movies?
I'm confused. That sounds like the opposite of what we were saying. Guilty pleasures.
Yeah, so he likes 2 and 3, but the more recent trilogy he's not into.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily love the most recent trilogy, but I think my boys would.
Oh, yeah.
I just think it has that, preteen, early teen boy appeal.
Yep. I can see that.
So, and they really like, what's the actor? Chris Pratt.
Oh, Chris Pratt, yeah.
So I think
they
would like the Jurassic World ones a lot.
It's so interesting and counter to what I would expect, that oh my gosh, that that there are as many prominent Christian actors in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, Denzel Washington, of course, being one, but like, but young actors too, like what's his dude, Zachary Levi and Chris Pratt.
Is Chris Pratt young still?
No. But in his, but he was a name in his in his prime, you know, and you know he's not Chris Pratt's level of like in every movie, but just the prominence that he's had has really been something. Oh man, this thing is gonna kill me.
I let Silas watch the Tomorrow War. Actually,
Oh yeah.
Did I let?
I can't remember if I liked that one or not. I can't remember what I thought about
I
that
didn't
one.
like it as much as I wanted to like it, but you know, when I watched it again with Silas,
He just fell through the world. Did you see that?
I saw him disappear, but I didn't really see what happened.
That was crazy. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. The second time I watched it with Silas, I liked it better. I think the first time I just had such high expectations and high hopes for it.
Which movie were we talking about again? Sorry, short-term memory starting to go.
Tomorrow War.
Okay, Tomorrow War. That's right. The one I can't remember what I thought about it. Okay.
Yeah, I think, and then I think too, just because Silas enjoyed it, you know, when you're with someone else who's enjoying it so much,
yeah.
you enjoy it a little more.
Yeah.
But then I had them watch, and I told them, I was like, this is the better one. My gosh. It's not Live, Die, Repeat, but that's what everybody called it. Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is so good. I love that movie.
Yeah, that is great. Have you seen Boss Level? I don't think you have. I think you should watch Boss Level. I watched it with the boys. We had kind of our family fun day which ended with a double feature movie night.
Okay.
And the two movies we watched were Frequency.
Oh, yeah.
And Boss Level.
So you own it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can take it home tonight.
All right. I'll do that.
It's not rated, but I would describe it as our equivalent for violence and language.
Okay.
And it's basically about a guy who keeps repeating the same day, but he's like a former or special ops guy, and so he's got tons of skill to start with, and it's an action comedy.
Okay.
And it's got some great heart to it, like some great father-son heart, and a great kind of message about repairing a broken family. It's really, really good, and Mel Gibson plays the villain.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love Chris Pratt, but I was very disappointed by all those movies, especially the recent one. Dominion? Is that what that says? I haven't even seen that one. I haven't heard of it. Do you know what movie he's talking about?
Maybe Jurassic. Is there one called Jurassic Park Dominion?
Oh,
I think there is.
maybe.
I think there is. I love Chris Pratt, but I was very disappointed by those movies, especially the recent one, Dominion. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I didn't see Dominion. I saw at least the first one.
That's the only one I've seen.
And I might have seen the second one in the Chris Pratt trilogy. I might have seen the third one too. I can't remember. I just remember thinking that like it wasn't until the end that they were getting to the point where I thought that trilogy should have started. Like I want the world of Jurassic Park to move past theme parks, and with the World trilogy, they're just like, hey, we're gonna try the theme park again. I'm like, okay, well, we know how that's gonna go. It just and instead, I wanted the dinosaurs to get loose.
Yeah.
That's what's implied at the end of 3, I think, is that
Wasn't there flying ones?
there were flying ones at least that were free to roam the planet now.
So I have seen the third then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So at the end of the third one, their flying ones are free to roam the planet.
Yeah.
And so there should have been,
Mass chaos.
there should have been beginnings of mass chaos there. Yeah, yeah. And so I wanted to see it like almost a post-apocalyptic world,
Yeah.
or if not post-apocalyptic, then a world that like is trying to carry on normally, but dinosaurs are as common as, like, say, coyote are here in the in Mesa, where it's like you don't see them every day. They're not running wild in the streets, but like every few months you see one, you know, or maybe every few weeks, depending on what part of town you're in, you see a coyote.
Where it's almost like a tornado warning, where like they have to blare some alarm because there's something coming in.
That would be cool. That would be Jurassic World to me. You know, that would be cool. But we didn't get that.
No. But that's kind of been what everything's being rebooted right now, and I don't love it.
Yeah.
I'd rather have new stuff, and because I feel like reboots are like books made into movies. They're never as good as the book, you know. And the reboots are never as good as the original.
Yeah. Man, I'm torn. Yeah, not quite yet. Let's see here. You know, sell that. Sell. 42.
Craig just woke up to get ready for church. Thought he'd pop in again. I am winding yarn. It's very boring, I know.
Questioning how awake I am right now. Is Karyne winding yarn?
I am.
Or am I sleeping still?
Well, that's really sad if that's what you could potentially be dreaming about, is someone winding yarn. I don't know which is worse, to be asleep or awake.
And Spider Dan says, second Jurassic World set that up, and the payoff isn't there in the third one. That's right. I didn't see the third one, but the second one set that up, and I was like, okay, finally in the third movie we're going to get there. And then I heard in reviews that it didn't pay off at all. And I'm like, really? Not even in the third movie of this Jurassic World trilogy do we get where it should have started?
Huh.
So we got to wait another, 20 years for the next new hotness male actor to lead a new trilogy that will finally, do what I want. And I'll maybe be dead. I don't know.
Nathan Hale asked a question.
Oh, sorry, Nathan.
Do you prefer the Addams Family or the Munsters?
Oh, interesting question. I think the Addams Family, because they are less silly, if that makes sense. Like Herman Munster is like the Addams Family plays it straight. You know what I mean? Like whether you're talking about the original show, Uncle Fester in the original show was goofy, but for the most part, like the mom, the dad to a lesser extent, he was a little bit goofy, but the kid, there's just more straight-faced, morbid humor in the Addams Family, whether it's the show or the movies. Where the Munsters, it feels like a little bit more designed to be a show for kids, and a property for kids. I could be wrong about that. The most recent one, I guess, was geared at kids, oddly enough, directed by Rob Zombie, of all people. But it seems like it was, lower budget and directed at kids and families.
My kids have been watching the cartoon Addams Family movies, and I hate them.
Oh, I haven't seen any of those, so sorry. I'm not even factoring in those.
I didn't think you were, and I didn't.
I'm thinking of the movies
either.
And I'm thinking of the Wednesday Netflix series. That's my only exposure, and I've only seen like the first episode of the Wednesday series.
The cartoons are stupid.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Yeah. I guess I've only seen one of them, and with kids' movies, I see portions of them. I don't actually sit and watch them because I get bored.
Maybe I will equip this one. 44 versus 18, that's a big difference. 104 energy, health regeneration. I feel like maybe there'd be an okay trade-off. Oh, but I need 83 dexterity. I don't think I have that. I don't think I can do that, so never mind.
I'm a hot mess here. Dropping everything, and now I'm going to mess up your headphones trying to reach it.
It's all right.
Oh, come on.
40 armor. Oh, so I can use this. 62% health regeneration plus 20% energy regeneration. I could maybe use this. It's better health regeneration per second. I should give that a try. That would definitely be better, wouldn't it? Do I want this? Oh no, I don't want that. Or that. Let's see. 19 intelligence, energy regeneration.
You have mom's puppets. What do you use those for?
Oh, just stuff. Stuff we don't talk about.
Do you have them all?
We don't talk about what's off camera. We don't talk about what's off camera. Let's see. .40 armor.
I think sometime you should shoot one of your YouTube videos the other direction.
Oh, I've shown like a. It's been a while, but I've shown like kind of like a tour of my office space.
He could use a vacuum though.
I already talked about that today.
I'm confirming it.
Yes, you could. Hey, I'll have you know though, like during the dinner break, I turned off all the lights, I cranked the ceiling fan on, and I brought the box fan in to blow air out, because I felt like it's stuffy in here. And Karyne, if it's like this when she comes, she's going to feel like she's walking into my high school bedroom.
You know what though? I can't smell anything.
Oh, still?
Still.
What the crap?
It's been a year. Yeah. So don't ever worry about stinking things up around me, because I can't smell it.
How's your taste?
It's muted. Like, some things taste or smell weird.
And this is because of COVID?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But it's not, I don't know. Nothing is quite normal. Mm-hmm. For a while, everything was tasting really bad, and I discovered it's because I was taking too much zinc.
That's right.
But now I'm back to a couple things taste really bad. Most things just taste muted. Mm-hmm. A few things smell really bad, but mostly I just can't smell much.
Okay.
Or some things smell weird.
Okay.
Like poop and oatmeal smell the same.
Oh, that's kind of a gift,
weird.
Right? In the neutral sense, like poop smells.
It is neutral, yeah.
Okay.
I don't mind the smell of poop.
Okay.
But it does not make oatmeal very appetizing.
Oh, because
when they smell the same.
Yeah, because they
Yeah. So, you know.
Because you always feel like I need to keep checking every bite. I gotta check. All right, I'm gonna try this and see what that does to me. Oh, that's weird. Are you saying that is it working for me? Or that's what I wondered, because the bracelets I was wearing before create the ability to wear the bracelets I'm wearing now. So how does that work? That's bizarre. I don't trust it. I think if it's red like that, I might not even be benefiting from its thing. So I'm just gonna sell these, I guess. Oh man, have I been in this with this merchant too long? I'm afraid that
You say stools and yarn?
I gotta get back to the portal. Where's the portal?
Did we talk about stools, or is he talking about poop?
Maybe, I don't know. Let's see here. Craig says it's 6:36 in South Africa, Karyne, and with my week, I wouldn't be surprised. Then again, I'm also forgetting that this is a summer insanity stream with stools and yarn. Well, stool has played a significant role in the stream up to this point.
With the insanity
Yeah.
stuff? Interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I guess I missed out on that.
There we go.
That one's going in my
All
arsenal
right.
of insults.
I made it back.
An air puffer. You can get an air... Oh, purifier. I cannot see. That makes more sense.
Wait, is that still draining my...
These two
Okay.
machines.
That's weird. It's just constantly draining my... Alright, that's fine. That's fine. I just gotta keep an eye on my mana.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't have the humidifier going.
What do you mean?
You love the humidifier.
I do,
It's
but
on all the time.
But it's gonna make... It just makes white background noise, you know.
Oh.
But I've got it set up in the guest room. I'm gonna go sleep in the guest room when I'm done here. So that Holly doesn't wake me up when she's showering and getting ready for church and stuff. Wait a minute. Hold the phone. Oh no, yeah, I'm backtracking. I'm supposed to be backtracking.
Tomorrow is Move Up Sunday.
Okay.
Which means that Charlie is an official kindergartner and Lydia is an
Oh.
official second grader.
Okay.
So now all of our kids are in the portables and...
Wrong button.
Well, not for long, since the portables are going away.
It's been super cool to not have to check in. Oops.
Kids. For
Check in
anything.
Titus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like drop them off. There you go.
Yep. Although I will miss it when Garrison hits that next year because he also prints off the stickers for the girls.
Oh.
So he runs ahead and prints off all the stickers.
Oh, yeah.
And then just kind of meets us there.
Mm-hmm.
What are those chocolate things inside the Skittles bowl?
Oh, you can have one. They're mint chocolate cookie. They're like Girl Scout cookies, but better. These are better than Girl Scout
Mint
cookies.
I can't do. I either don't taste or it tastes bad.
Oh.
So that's
You want a
one.
Snickers?
Yeah, I'll try a Snickers. Thank you. That was, I remember, at Christmas time. You guys brought something minty.
Were you a fan much of mint before that?
I mean, I liked it, but I didn't eat it.
Yeah, I'm not a big mint guy. I think I like it in my hot chocolate at Christmas time, but beyond that, like Holly and Titus both like mint chocolate chip ice cream. I'm like, nah, you're wasting the opportunity to have ice cream right now.
I thought he didn't like any chocolate, but he does like chocolate chips in that, huh?
Yeah. There are just certain select situations that he'll like chocolate. He likes peanut butter cups. You keep dropping your yarn.
I know. I'm struggling.
Let's see here. Oops. Koopa says, you can get an air purifier. I have one, and it's a dream come true.
Probably noisy, though, just like the humidifier would be.
Yeah, to do what now?
Like, to kind of de-nastify the room when you were talking about how it gets, like, stuffy.
Oh, you were
and
thinking
smelly.
that the steamer might help with that?
No,
Oh.
but he was.
Oh, okay. Yeah, an air purifier, my steamer would not.
No, but when he said that, I was like, oh, I'm surprised you don't have your humidifier going.
Oh,
which-
yeah. Okay, gotcha.
'Cause
Now I'm all caught up.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, that's the rebirth fountain. Okay, I'm good. Well, it might be time to go to the bathroom. Still trying to sort through that decision. Oops. Wrong button. It's creepy piano music.
It does feel out of place.
Yeah. In like this fantasy
Yeah.
hack and slash type game. Hey, you probably haven't seen Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves, have you?
Mm-mm.
I'm trying to remember if I own that. I don't own it yet. That's right. I got confused because it came to Paramount Plus, and we had that for a month because of a review I did.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I really like that one.
The weapons of our ancestors, stranger. Thank you, stranger.
Okay, great. Completed side quest. Wasn't even trying to. You just talk to people and you walk around killing stuff and you find yourself doing what they want you to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good kind of game, I think. The heck? Did I mean to go here? Where am I? There I am. Okay, so I gotta go down this hill and then I keep going to the right. Let's see here. Nathan Hale says, do you have a favorite age for comic books, such as the Golden Age or Silver Age?
Golden for me.
Yeah. She's really into the crude 1940s art. I don't think I have a favorite age, but I can tell you when comics were at the peak of my enjoyment of them. Although I might be in an age of really enjoying them now equally. I'm not sure yet. I need some perspective. But the height for me was what I would call kind of the Jeff Johns era, which would have been, I think, the 2000s. When Jeff Johns kind of started, he started with, before JSA, he was doing Stars and Stripe, which was the book about Stargirl, and that kind of was his foot in the door to do JSA. And then his work on JSA, and then The Flash, and then he started, getting his hands into other stuff. I mean, his run on Green Lantern. I think the Jeff Johns that I loved the most was JSA. Well, and Teen Titans. I would say both equally. But him writing those two team books really allowed him to explore multiple characters and put his stamp on multiple characters. And create kind of like just kind of like a way of handling characters and legacy that started infecting, I think, the rest of the DC universe in some ways that I really liked. And it was really leading up to the New 52. Maybe it peaked 1 or 2 years before the New 52 for me as far as my enjoyment. But I was enjoying comic books enough at that time that, like, when the New 52 came along, I mean, I was like, yeah, I have mixed feelings about it, but I can appreciate a fresh restart. And it ended up not being that. It was a very soft reboot that, ironically, made some major changes that I didn't like. But yeah, I would say it was the 2000s, the 5 to 8 years before New 52 would have been when I was loving comics the most. But now that I've gotten back into it and used DC Universe Infinite, the subscription service, to basically be able to read any comics I want, I can take more risks and try more books. And so I don't know that, like, I'm on the whole liking books or the quality of books now more than before, but I'm able to find the books that I like more easily and with far less financial risk and investment. It's $8 a month. Well, actually, no, it's more than that. I did the Ultra tier because I'm making content, and it's a difference between 1 month after release and 6 months after release on stands in comic book stores. So, but I was totally content before I made that decision to just be on a 6-month delay, and aside from that, have basically unlimited access to comic books. So, so I'm really enjoying DC comic book reading right now. A lot. Even with the, as I make content about it every week and say, yeah, I don't like this, I don't like this. I'm trying so many more books than I ever would have. And so I'm still left with a number of books that are equal to, if not greater than, the number of books I was reading in my heyday and really enjoying. So I love being a DC comic fan right now because of what DC Universe Infinite allows me to do. So hopefully that answers your question. Spider Dan says, speaking of Jeff Johns, I mentioned this in Discord. Batman 3 Jokers is a great book. Great example of forgiveness in that book. My typing is awful. I need to read that still. I can't remember if that's actually considered in continuity or not, but I haven't read it yet. But the fact that you mentioned, I didn't know there was a theme of forgiveness in that. So I'll try to remember if I remember any of this conversation in the fog of the marathon after the fact. I will put it on my reading list. Feel free to mention that to me again. After the marathon. Oh my gosh. All right. I think I'm ready to save my game and go to the bathroom and then come back and start something new. I'm going to use that time on the toilet judiciously to really think and ponder, what game would I like to play? I think I'll even take my list with me.
Gross. Don't bring it back out.
I'll bring it back, but I'll just put it like somewhere down here. You won't have to touch it. You don't even have to look at it if you don't want to. So there's that. Let me make sure. Okay, Spider Dan says they don't know. I thought you initially said I don't know if it's canon, but Spider Dan says they don't know if it's canon, and yeah, that sounds about right. Like DC is undecided. All right, so go to the bathroom.
I really hope that people come on and they're like, oh, there's someone untwisting yarn. I thought this was going to be about video games.
I'll put my bathroom break sign here so that there's at least maybe some clue as to what's going on. That'll be part of the insanity. It'll just be like, it's really quiet.
This is making me a little insane, to be quite honest.
It's really, I don't know what's going on, but it's really quiet, and there's this girl I've never seen before that's like doing something with yarn. It's kind of creepy. All right.
Sounds about right. In the future, I need to think ahead and bring embarrassing photos from when Peter was a kid. And when he takes a bathroom break, I can pop them up in front of the camera. I'll make a note for myself to do that next time. We have about 400 photos of him rubbing on his ear as a kid. I don't know if you guys ever get to see that, though. It's one of his weird tics. I am the youngest, yes. By 5 years. Our sister is 8 years older than me, so Pater's the middle child. Yeah, it was probably more normal than you might think it was to grow up with Pater. He didn't really get into comic books and stuff until he was older, like late junior high maybe, or at least I don't really remember. I was younger though. But yeah, I don't know. I was still young enough. We did all the same things, played Nintendo games. I think I didn't realize, it felt normal to me, but I think I didn't realize our family was a little different because I just didn't know any different. But now I realize, wow, none of us did sports. None of us, we just were all introverts and did our own thing. But I'm trying to think of, I don't know. We still wrestled, and he still made me cry, and he was still that older brother. But I don't know. I wouldn't say we were good friends, though, until we were adults, and I think that's pretty normal, especially with a 5-year age gap. I feel like we've already told all of our good stories growing up about telling each other Christmas presents and him having to play Barbies with me. Like, all those good stories have been used up. I don't think we have any more that you guys haven't already heard. Kuba says, I'm the youngest. I don't get along with my older sister, and I feel that's set in stone and something I've missed out on. Yeah, I think family dynamics are so unique, and I've met people who don't have that kind of friendship with their sibling the way Pater and I do. But I mean, I've also met people who are close with all of their siblings, and they have many siblings. I feel like there's such a range of how that can be, and I don't think anything's ever set in stone, but yeah, I do think there are some relationships that just never really take off. And I think that's one of the things that I like about it. When you're kids, you're forced to be friends with your siblings, but now that we're adults, we can choose to be. And I think that's what makes it even better, is that when you're the person you choose to be friends with also happens to be your sibling. That's really fun. But Craig says, my brother is 6 years younger than me, and my mother also said we would get along better when we were older, since we won't see each other as much. So I can't tell if you're saying that is true or yet to be seen. And I wouldn't say that we didn't get along growing up. We just didn't run in the same circles or have I don't know, we didn't have any of the same friends, so we just didn't do as much together unless we were required to. And I feel like we see each other quite a bit now. So it is a little surprising that we're still good friends, because we see each other at church all the time and our families get together. So I think that could make it harder, but it's not. I think that...
Did you start talking to chat?
To chat?
Yeah. Did you start talking to the chat? Yes, to the chat, to the people in the chat.
It's like, is there somebody named Chat? I don't know. No, they were asking... I feel like they always ask about growing up with you, and I'm mad. I never think to bring, like, pictures or things. But, yeah, just how when we're older, I feel like we hang out more than when we were younger.
Yeah.
Because I think it was Craig was saying that his mom always said they get along better when they were older because they wouldn't be around each other as much. And that's true, because you're not living together.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think we intentionally hang out together more than we did when we were young.
Yeah.
Now.
Let's see, I'm just getting caught up on all the things that Karyne has already read.
Well, not all of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna read all the comments here, even though they're directed at us. Let's see here. Yeah, but you guys just kind of talking about sibling relationships and things like that. I think for us, two things I credit with kind of like being a catalyst for us spending more time together or being closer. And one, I've mentioned this before, even on the live stream, is, you know, when I was in college, maybe you were in high school, and there was just kind of like a girl that was a bit over dramatic, that either wrong-headedly thought she had AIDS or kind of made up. I can't remember what the details were, but there was just a little bit of a scare in that situation where you were just kind of wondering, could I have come in contact with that and stuff like that. And looking back at it, of course, we'd say, oh yeah, there was, even if she did, and she did, but even if she had, there would have been, virtually no chance. But there was a situation she was in that made her think, oh, could I have in this situation?
Well, she tried to make us think that.
Oh,
yeah.
And my parents were not home at the time. It was just she and I. Our older sister Janaea had moved out, or I can't remember the details in particular, but I was the only one that she could talk to about it, and she was really scared. And I was trying to comfort her and reassure her. But then when I went off that night, and I remember going to see, I saw Blade in theaters because I was working in a theater at the time, so we could see free movies. And I remember just thinking, going to this movie, it was just like, here I am going off to see this movie, and I don't know what to think about my sister's situation, and it's kind of scary and stuff. So I was distracted with that, with going to see Blade. But I mean, after that, that was just a moment where Mom and Dad couldn't reassure her. I was the one that had to step into that moment and into that role. Which
is so funny to me, because I don't remember that. Not that you weren't as reassuring as you thought you were.
No, that's fine.
But what I do remember is when Mom did get home, and I was like, I don't want to hug your mom. She was the last person I wanted to talk to about it. And maybe it's because you'd already made me feel better. Maybe. I don't know, but I was like, I don't want to talk to you, Bob.
And then the other thing, kind of after having that touch point, I think, at least from my perspective, made me maybe more patient or compassionate or whatever. But I mean, I remember that as a point where I just valued her more going forward. And then being in Rwanda for 2 years, I think just having that experience of her being gone, you don't realize how much you miss someone until they're gone, and how precious that time is together. And I was experiencing that when she would come back for these visits, and just really appreciating that time that we had together. And so I just kind of knew, even when I knew that she was going to be coming back and they were going to be, moving back, I was just like, I don't want it to go back to the way it was. I want to be intentional about spending time together. And so that's kind of what our monthly hangouts sprang out of. So, yeah. So that's the story there of why you see us together. All right. What was I gonna? Oh, that's right. I decided on Final Fantasy 12.
For more chat about geek entertainment, answers to your questions, and news from the wider world of Christian geekery, get the Christian Geek Central podcast today on iTunes and other podcast services.